Hey guys, so I know I'm in a little different view, but it's because we are making rainbow mobiles today. And so you guys learned about rainbows and how rainbows they are they are light reflecting out of prisms or raindrops. And so they appear a lot when after the rain or during the rainstorm, but they can appear in a lot of things, but they have to, the light kind of, it's called refraction, so it splits when it goes through a raindrop and it becomes a rainbow. So let's go ahead and build this. This was really fun, and let's get creative. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our paper plate and we're gonna make a spiral starting in the center and slowly going outward. Now I'm leaving about an inch between each spiral, but of course, you know, a spiral has to get larger in one area. And then going all the way out. You want the spirals to be thick, like an inch, so that they can support the weight, but you don't want them too thick or else you don't get too many layers. So there you go. So I'm going to teach you how to color mix. You guys should already know this, so this should be review. So our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So when I take red and I add yellow, I get orange. And what happens is, since red is such a dominating color, you will actually have to add a lot of yellow to the red, or you can just add a tiny little bit of red to the yellow, and then you'll get a nice orange. Make sure you clean off your brush in between mixing, because you don't want, you know, the red going into your yellow and blue mixture. So yellow and blue make green, depending on how green you want it. If you wanted a lighter green, you add more yellow. If you wanted a more turquoise or blue green, just add more blue. Using a different brush completely for my blue and my red, which makes purple. Now this is a really dark purple or really dark violet, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it just to brighten it up. Now I know in the rainbow there is violet and indigo, but just indigo's a more blue violet, so you'd add more blue for that, but I'm just gonna add violet and I'm gonna call it good with 6 colors of the rainbow. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to start with our red color, and I'm going to put that smack dab in the center because I want the colors to go out from each side. So I actually make pretty thick strips, thick enough that I can only fit each color once. I fit 2 colors twice. But you can make them as small or as big as you want. If you want to put the rainbow in there multiple times, just do a smaller strip. So I'm going ahead and I'm doing red. And then I'm going to do my next color, which is orange. And I'm not worrying about the orange mixing in with my red because we made orange by mixing red and yellow. So I'm going to put yellow right next to it, and then I'm going to combine right on the division there, right where they started meeting, and then it'll turn orange, and it look like it'll fade into each other. Of course, cleaning my brush off very well in between each color, and then wiping it off dry so we don't get excess water in there. I'm gonna start putting my green. And again, just like the red and yellow, I'm not worried about my green touching my yellow because I used yellow and blue to make green. So on the division, or when those 2 colors meet, I can go ahead and blend that in there too. Adding my blue to this side. Notice I don't complete the entire rainbow on this side, which is totally fine. I'm going to complete it on the next side, starting with purple right next to the red. Make sure you guys get the edge of the plate because I forgot to, and then I had to go back with each individual color and re-put it on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed the rest of this up so you can see how I finished it. So the front side is completely dry. Go ahead and flip it over and do the same thing. So go ahead and start making your paper raindrops. I'm making enough so that I can put 2 on each side and then 3 in the center streamer. And then I'm painting my cardboard tube to be the clouds. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting everything because my plate is completely dry. And following that black line, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut and keep going till I get to the center. The cloud for the 3 and the 2, you just need 5, but it was easier for me to cut the tube into 6 pieces and then just leave 1 piece. It also is less weight. We don't want it too heavy again because then it will stretch out and it won't be as spirally and as bouncy. So I'm cutting it into 6 pieces, but I'm only going to be using 5. So now I'm gonna lay them out so you guys kind of see what it's gonna look like. So the 3 is the bottom, the 2 is the top. So it's actually gonna be upside down. So what we need to do is we're gonna put our string through our bottom 3 cardboard tubes. So we need to go ahead and poke a hole through these pieces. Now make sure you have an adult to help you. Also don't make them too big, much bigger than the string because the string can fall through. We're just using knots to hold them in there. So then what I'm doing is I'm pushing the string through the hole. I'm grabbing it on the inside and I'm pulling it a little bit of ways and I'm making either a double knot or I'm doubling up my string and making a knot. Once you're done tying the knot and you pull your string tight, you can go ahead and cut off the extra. Go ahead and do that with the rest of the tubes, and then we will start putting on our raindrops. So just like the holes in the bottom of our cloud, we're gonna put little holes in our raindrops, and we're gonna string them through our string so that they are on underneath each cloud. So again, mine goes 2, 3, 2. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the 2 on there and not worry about placement until I have all 3 pieces of the cloud together. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure the raindrops don't fall off. So I'm going to tie just a small knot at the bottom of each string so that I know that they won't come off. Now, if I pull really hard, of course, they're gonna come off, they're gonna rip, they're just paper, so be delicate. Now, I also wanna tie knots where the raindrops can't go anymore. So I don't want it to go any lower, I'm going to tie a knot right below it. How we do that is, again, we're just going to loop around the string and then bring the end through. So as we tie the upper knots, notice I have to put the raindrop through. So if this is difficult for you and you don't want to rip the raindrops, go ahead and take the raindrop off and do the top ones first, tie them, and then do the bottom one. That will help out a lot with trying to fit the raindrops through a little loop. Finish that, it's time to glue them on. So I'm gonna make sure that the raindrops, the strings are going all the same direction, downward. And I'm using hot glue because it will hold really nicely and it dries really quick so I can keep this video going. You can use whatever glue you want. It just may have to sit for a little bit and dry. So I'm gonna glue the top two pieces on top with the bottoms. I do put a little bit of glue to connect the two tubes, but I don't put much because that's where we're gonna put the bottom of our rainbow piece, is right in between those top two pieces. So using the same string and the same idea, I attached the string to the center of the plate. So I poked a hole and I tied a knot through the other side, and that's where it'll hang. And then I looped the other end so I can just hook it onto a loop or a thumbtack or something like that. So again, we're gonna take the tail end of our rainbow and we're gonna stick it through the top two. So go ahead and add glue to the rainbow part, or if you're doing hot glue, to the entryway of those two pieces, and then go ahead and wait till it dries. So here I have my rainbow mobile hung up, and it's really nice. It's just kind of turning all pretty. The reason we don't want to add too much weight to the bottom, because if we keep adding too much weight, it's going to stretch it out, and we don't want that. We want a little bounce, we want a little curl. So here we are. This is our rainbow mobile. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's sad that this is the last FriYAY, but I hope to see you later.